Hi, we're at Disney's Animal Kingdom today. It's about noon. We're gonna go enjoy our day. We're in the parking lot right now. I brought little Richard with me. Where's little Richard?
No, it's Wes.
And things are about different here. You have to go through temperature checks by the nice ladies from Avon Health, take your temperature, and then you have to go through your baggage, which you just walk through, and then you finally you can get into the park. So it's a little bit of a process, but our goals are a flight of passage, safari, and Everest today. So we're gonna be bringing you all the action, and we're walking through the parking lot. I'm gonna get my umbrella out. Make sure when you go through baggage that your umbrella or any metal is out. And Jumbo, we'll see you soon. Hey, we're in the park. I got my guide map because good Disney Explorer always needs their guide map, even if they've been to the park 100 times. So we're headed somewhere. We're gonna go ride safari 3 times a day, Everest 10, and Flight of Passage 10 is our goals, and then have our cheeseburger pods and a beer at Salty Canteen sometime soon because I'm hungry. And so we're gonna get started. I will keep you up to date throughout our adventure at Disney's Animal Kingdom. And there's a tree of life in all its glory on this hot summer August day.
She's a little bit hidden off to the left.
Yeah.
But it's really perfect because usually at this time of day, the kangaroos find a shaded spot and kind of hang out.
Okay.
But they all come out right now, which makes them pretty visible. Other animals that share that same space are our lappet-faced vultures, which is like that cutie right there. And then our white storks. And then over to the right, we have our lesser flamingos kind of hanging out right there as well. If you're interested too, and you might want like a different perspective of where the kangaroos are, if you head up this way and you turn to the right, you're going to pass our otter enclosure. Right past it, there's going to be an entrance for our Discovery Island Trail, and you'll be able to walk right up there and get a better view too.
Okay.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Yeah. The kangaroos are. There is kangaroos.
Vultures.
We don't like those.
Yeah, but the vultures are from the laughing place.
Well,
They're
yeah,
from Splash.
they can go somewhere else.
They're from Splash.
No, they can go up.
But that's where they're from.
They're not from.
Do you remember Splash in the beginning when they go up the hill?
I'm perfectly aware of what happened with Mountain. Here is the tree of life. Yeah, let's go. That's cool.
Alright, doesn't look like anybody's home.
I guess not.
Where are you, Mickey?
So this show right here, if you can't see, it's called Up, A Great Vader Adventure. That's a negative, a big no. So if you're coming to the park with me, we're not doing that. So sorry. We are walking through the queue for Expedition Everest. It's Little Richard's favorite ride, so we had a ride here first. We're gonna try to get on as many times as we can, possibly 10, if we can make it. The wait time is going down, and so we're ready. We're gonna go find out Yeti. Hopefully, if it's working.
You got dropped that phone.
Here we go. We're riding on Expedition Everest. Put your hands up, party in the USA. We're doing the fine legs. we go again on Expedition Everest round 2. Yeah, so here we go. It's a 20-minute wait, and we're heading again.
Uh-oh. Number 3?
Ride number 3,
Okay.
and where are we sitting in, Wes?
We're in the front row.
Front row. Let's go find out Yeti.
Hello, explorers! Look, it's Donald and his friends on the Discovery River.
Baby, I love you. Jumbo, we are headed onto the Kilimanjaro Safari. Wes is gonna get eaten by a tiger. Right?
Yeah, but you're gonna be getting eaten by the pelicans.
No, I'm not.
Fly, pelicans.
We're putting you on the
fly.
outside so the ostrich can peck you.
Uh,
Because we,
Ostrich eggs are, I heard ostrich eggs are really expensive and like they're a delicacy to eat.
well, maybe he'll go. I'll push him off the bus and he can go get them, and that can help supplement our unemployment. Just an idea. Okay, Jumbo, we'll see you in a bit on the safari. I'll show you clips and what we see.
Of the forest because they are pretty good at hiding. They've also got some very heavy horns that lean backwards, which helps them to glide through all the dense vegetation. And both male and female bongos will have horns. Alright, now up ahead of us here, I do spot there's a black rhino on the cliffside up ahead. It's coming up over here on your left. Now, the black rhino is going to weigh around 3,000 pounds with charging speeds up to 35 miles per hour. Now, unfortunately, these guys are hunted for the keratin in their horns. That keratin serves no scientific or medicinal purpose. It is the same exact substance in your hair and in your fingernails. So it's not even a true horn, but because of poaching for that horn, there are only around 5,000 black rhino left in the world. Coming up on your left-hand side, there's a couple more bongos you can see over here, those orange antelope again. So they're all kind of scattered about. There's some up ahead in the corner over here as well. Alright, it does look like we are heading out of the Little Wateri Forest now and into the Safi River. Now in the Safi River, we'll have to keep a close eye on the water. We'll see if we can spot anything just beneath the water's surface. Coming up over here on your left, there are some hippos. If you look down in the water over here, these pink blobs, yeah, those are hippos. Now hippos, they're going to stay in the water just like this to keep themselves from overheating. They can actually stay completely under the water for up to 8 minutes at a time. And they will in fact sleep underwater. Every 8 minutes, they float up to the surface and take a breath, then float back under the water, all while still asleep. You'll also notice lots of very large white birds over here. Those are pink-backed pellet feet in length and weigh over 500 pounds. Their strong jaws crush the bones of their prey, which could be anything from small fish to the landscape is actually maintained by the animals that inhabit it. The elephants are going to knock down the trees, which makes all these pathways for the migratory species that pass through. Giraffe are going to prune the trees, and the antelope will mow the grass. Alright, so coming up over here on your left, you see there are some African wild dogs. There's a couple up ahead in the cave, and there's also some back towards the back by the rocks laying in the shade over there. Now, these are not hyena, though they do look very similar. They're actually not related. African wild dogs are very successful hunters. They work together as a pack, and they take down their prey by tiring them out. They will hunt their prey to the point of exhaustion, and they are successful 90% of the time. And they are very cute, but you would not want to have one of these guys as a pet. And they're actually one of the most dangerous animals out here, so maybe make a pros and cons list beforehand. Coming up on your left-hand side here, there are some darker brown antelope. Those are sable antelope. Now, sable antelope are actually the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. They use those antlers, band together as a group, and defend themselves against predators like lions that could pounce upon them. So they are pretty fearless. In a fight or flight situation, the sable antelope will almost always choose to fight. Coming up on your left-hand side are some termite mounds over here. Termite mounds are composed of soil, saliva, and poop. Yeah, they're actually hard as concrete, so elephants use the really tall ones as back scratchers. Now, if you guys head down the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail on your way off the safari here today, they actually have a termite mound down there that is cut in half, so you can see what it looks like on the inside. It's kind of a honeycomb-like structure on the interior. But Gorilla Falls also has lots of other African animals for you guys to see. Hopefully some gorillas, but there's also an underwater hippo pool, zebras, naked mole rats, a bullfrog as big as your face. Not even lying, it's huge, it's as big as your face. Coming up on your right-hand side over here are some Ankole cattle. Now, the Ankole cattle are the only domesticated animal you're going to find here on the reserve. That just means you'll never find a wild Ankole cattle. Those very large horns on their heads actually act as a cooling system for them. Their blood is going to circulate through those horns, which disperses the heat to keep them cool. And those horns do look very heavy, but they're actually quite hollow, so they don't really weigh a lot at all. Up ahead of us here, looks like there are some zebra and some giraffe coming up. Now, there is a little baby zebra over here. You can see the one that's just walking up the hill there. Now, zebra are going to be black with white stripes. You can tell by their noses. Since their noses are black, they are black with white stripes. And no two zebra will have the same stripes as they're unique, kind of like a fingerprint. Of course, a very good view of that giraffe right there. Now, giraffe, they are the tallest mammals in the world. They're going to tower 18 to 20 feet tall. Whenever a baby giraffe is first born, it'll actually stand about 6 feet tall. Within its very first hour of life, it's already standing up and walking around. So they're pretty accomplished in that first hour of life. And here comes another giraffe you can see over here on your left. These are all some Maasai giraffe, and I can tell by the patterns on their coats. Maasai giraffes sort of have splotchy, kind of random dark spots, whereas just pictured above your head in the animal spotting guide, that's a reticulated giraffe. And see those dark spots there are more but we're gonna go around and hopefully get a better view in just a moment.
Yeah, that looks like Jenny Spring.
Now this coming up over here is probably a male elephant. Male elephants do tend to be just a little bit more solitary, while all the females and the young tend to stay together in the herd. Male elephants sometimes form their own bachelor herds, so that's going to be with 2 or 3 males. But yeah, for the most part, they'll just hang out all by themselves, and then they're usually going to leave the herd with their ostrich. Now, the ostrich are the largest birds in the world, however, they can't fly. So they're going to use their wings to change direction while running, and they can run over 35 miles per hour. All 3 of these ostrich are female ostrich. I can tell by the coloration of their feathers. Female ostrich have gray feathers, while male ostrich have dark black feathers. Also up ahead of us here, we'll see some antelope, some waterbuck. Now, waterbuck are never found far from a water source. They drink an unusual amount of water. Their fur also has this sort of oily, smelly substance on it, which kind of makes their fur almost waterproof, but also works as a defense mechanism for them. It's kind of like you don't want to eat something that smells bad. Yeah, that's what the water buck have going for them. Also coming up on your left here are these white rhino, which as you can probably tell are not white. They do look brown because they are totally covered in mud, but they're actually gray. They get their name from the Afrikaans word "weit," which means wide, not white, for their wide set jaw. That's how you can tell them apart from the black rhino we saw before. Black rhino will have a more triangular, pointed lip. Now over here on your left, there is a cheetah actually walking up towards the middle. So she's down closer towards the bottom over here, and we'll see her making her way up towards the middle in just a moment. She's up ahead of us, towards the middle there, up by those trees she's headed. Yeah, you can kind of see her walking around over there by the trees. Now cheetah, they are the fastest land mammals. They can run up to 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds. Cheetah also have black teardrop marks just underneath their eyes. Those work as natural sunglasses for them to reflect the sun's rays and make it a bit easier for them to spot their prey. And I spot 2 more cheetah over here in the corner. They're both laying down. One's up by the bushes over here, and then one's kind of back behind the log. She's kind of blending in with the logs right there. We can see them both up ahead, laying in the corner there. Alright, now up ahead of us here are some Kobe rocks. They're home to a bit of a bigger cat, the lion. So we'll see if we can spot any lions around here. Now they are typically inactive 16 to 20 hours a day. They spend all day long asleep or resting, you know, just lying around. Now the reason for that is during the day, lions do have the same eyesight as us. But at night, their eyesight is going to get 6 times stronger. So at night is when they do their hunting. Over here on your right, you'll see some more rhinos and some other antelope, but Hakuna Matata. We'll see them again one more time in just a moment. Now, as I was saying, lions are nocturnal. So if you guys are able to come back just a little bit later to spot those antelope up ahead and their white rhino again. Whenever you see rhinos all together in a group, they're actually called a crew.
Hi, we're at Salty Canteen, and let me show you my food. So we got the cheeseburger pods and Dreamwalkers sangria. We are waiting for my flight of passage disability, and while we do that, I decided to have a green beer because you can't leave Pandora without having a nice, refreshing raw ale. It's in my bag. Why are you interrupting my video for? It's in my garage. Little Richard over there. I'm waiting for another West to come to ride Ride with us. So we're gonna go Sabiko. We're gonna on Flight of Passage, round 1.
By blending human DNA and Navi DNA. Once we match you to an avatar, thanks to a special link chair, your mind will be able to control that avatar. Using avatars to fly this way was all figured out by my boss, Dr. Jackie Ogden. She leads our science team, which is part of the Pandora Conservation Initiative, and we're here in the Valley of Moara studying banshees and their environment. Let's watch this piece by Dr. Ogden, who runs the program.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Jackie Ogden from the Pandora Conservation Initiative. You're about to experience a ceremony that's very special to the Na'vi. Connecting to an ikran and flying on its back is an incredibly important rite of passage they call Ikni Maya. With permission from the Na'vi and in partnership with Alpha Centauri Expeditions, we can now bring this amazing experience to you.
We establish a link using power.
Hi, we're back on safari for the second time, so part 2, and I'll definitely show you anything new I see from the last one. Jumbo!
2,000 pounds per square inch.
There we are.
Now, crocodile have actually been out on the African savanna. Straight up ahead of us and on the right are some Hartman's Mountain Zebra. Hartman's Mountain Zebra are a black animal with white stripes. The muzzle is black. It tells us they are a black animal with white stripes. They're actually the only zebra that have a dewlap at the front of their neck. Should a predator grab onto that dewlap, they're not actually harming any vital organs in this process, and the zebra's actually able to evade the attack. To the right are some Patterson's Island, and to the left is Patterson's Island. They do stand at about 6 feet tall at the shoulder. They are the largest antelope of the savanna. You see some Ankole cattle off to the right. Ankole cattle have very large horns, but their horns are not actually very heavy. They are filled with a honeycomb-like structure that aids the circulation of the cattle, so the cattle can actually survive in the northern African climates where they live. Over to the left is a predator's den. We'll see if we see any predators outside of the den. Looks like they might be hiding. Over to the left, I do see a small herd of sable antelope. Sable antelope are known for their strength and their mighty powerful gait. They can actually incapacitate a predator. To the left and the right are some termite mounds. Those are made of spit, dirt, and dung. They do harden to form cement-like structures. Some of the larger animals, like the elephants and the rhinoceros, will use those as scratching posts. It will actually knock them down. Some of the other animals, like the springbok antelope, which are the smallest antelope of the savanna, will climb up on top of those and use them as a vantage point out over the savanna and into the tall grass. Over to the right is another view of those Ankole cattle with their very large horns. They were originally domesticated by the Watusi tribes of Africa and raised by the Maasai people of Africa as a means of wealth. But they could not keep those cattle in the bank, so they kept them in round, thorny brush pens known as menyeta. Over to the right is a whole confusion of white-bearded African wildebeest, also known as new, for the new sounds that they do tend to make. It's a whole confusion of white-bearded African wildebeest. Confusions of wildebeest exist in numbers of up to 1.5 million, and they do tend to migrate over 1,000 miles every year. They're known as a confusion because in numbers of up to 1.5 million, they do tend to run around in a confused state. So those are the white-bearded African wildebeest over to the right. They're also known as new because they do make a new sound when they are grunting. Straight up ahead of us and on the left is a whole tower of Maasai giraffe. Maasai giraffe as adults stand at about 18 to 20 feet tall, and as babies they are born at about 6 feet tall. They do need about an hour and a half of time to stand up with their mother prior to being pursued by predators. That's a whole tower of Maasai giraffe, and there's one over on the right as well. They're known for the very irregular patterning to the patches on their coats. Now that makes them different from a reticulated giraffe. A reticulated giraffe comes from the Latin word reticulata, which means net-like. They have a much more net-like appearance. Those are Maasai giraffes. They do have a 24-inch long tongue, and they will tend to use their tongue in the same way that you use your arm to rip the foliage off of trees, because they actually eat the pounds. They do have very large paws as well. Their paws are about the size of dinner plates, and they do have very specialized padding to the paws that they do have that allow them to silently sneak up on their prey without their prey ever even noticing that they are coming. To the right is a white rhinoceros up there. do see some female ostrich off in the distance. To the right, female ostrich have brownish gray feathers. The male ostrich actually have black and white feathers. They do run at speeds of about 35 miles per hour. You see some waterbuck over to the left. Waterbuck are known for their greasy, musky, smelly coat that actually deters predators away from them. They will actually use water in their self-defense as well. To the left is a view of that lion. His very large paws are the size of dinner plates. We know that that is a younger male lion because the mane is still orangish. As a male lion ages, the mane does start to turn entirely black. They are about 500 pounds, and they are almost...
Look at the rain.
It's part 2 of, I was about to say Navi River Journey, of Flight of Passage. I got little Richard with me,
Here we go.
and we're going. Stop and go! We're gonna fly. Come on, little Richard. Where'd you go? Pick a berry? Wes.
Yes.
Great. Welcome to the Avatar program. Soon, you're going to have a chance to undertake an amazing Navi rite of passage, flying on the back of this powerful animal called an Ikran, or as we call it, a Banshee. The way you're going to do this is by being matched to something called an avatar. They're created by blending human DNA and Navi DNA. Once we match you to an avatar, thanks to a special link chair, your mind will be able to control that avatar. Using avatars to fly this way was all figured out by my boss, Dr. Jackie Ogden. She leads our science team, which is part of the Pandora Conservation Initiative, and we're here in the Valley of Moara studying banshees and their environment. Let's watch this piece by Dr. Ogden, who runs the program.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Jackie Ogden from the Pandora Conservation Initiative. You're about to experience a ceremony that's very special to the Navi. Connecting to an Ikran and flying on its back is an incredibly important rite of passage they call Ikni Maya. With permission from the Navi and in partnership with Alpha Centauri Expeditions, we can now bring this amazing experience to you.
We establish a link using powerful psionic amplification equipment. A human driver is connected to an avatar, which could be physically hundreds of kilometers away. When you follow our technician into the link chamber, you'll see a series.
We are getting on Navi River Journey. Woo, let's go.
Day long
get on the safari one last time. It is 6 o'clock. Me and little Richard over there are gonna be the last ones on the Kilimanjaro safari for tonight. Again, if there's anything that happens, I will broadcast it. Any animal sightings, we are on it. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Jumbo.
I know that because she doesn't have any horns. A couple more on our right side too, also females. Pretty rare to see them this close to us. They are very shy animals, and most of the time they like to stay together, so most of the time you'll see at least one other kudu with them. Also located on the right side, the saddle-billed stork, hanging out near the water there. Little yellow piece on its bill, looks like a saddle, that's why it's called a saddle-billed stork, and if it stands all the way up, it can stand about 5 feet tall. Pretty large bird. Now, lots of the animals out here in the forest tend to be pretty shy. Makes them a little bit difficult to see sometimes. Look in this first area to our left, all the way back there, there's a black rhino. I actually see one just around the corner. It's going to be much easier to find. This one, these black rhinos can weigh up to 3,000 pounds. And unfortunately, they are poached for their horn, which is made of keratin. That's the same material as our fingernails and hair. Because of that, only about 5,000 of these animals remain in the world today. There are different conservation organizations working to put an end to the poaching of rhinos. We certainly do support them. These bongo are on our right side, these copper-colored antelopes, nicknamed the ghost of the forest. Just because they're seldom seen in the wild. Their horns curve inwards, that's going to help them move through vegetation quickly and effectively. And a few more bongo on our left. But we had some good luck in the forest this afternoon, so let's hope our luck continues as we move into the Safi River. But before we enter the savanna, look to your right side, you'll see the strange looking tree. This is a baobab tree, also known as an upside down tree. Holds water very effectively within its trunk, and it can be leafless for about 9 months of the year. We're going to see a couple more of those as we move along, and hopefully find some animals along the way too. But I'll point those animals out as we come to them, so from closest to furthest away. Now the first animal we'll find out here this afternoon on the savannah is the Ankole cattle. So 3 of them to our right side, these animals with the really large horns. Those horns are hollow with the honeycomb-like structure. They provide for excellent blood circulation, so it's going to keep them cooler on hot days like today. Ankole cattle are also seen as a sign of status in Africa. The more you own, the richer you are. Another thing to notice out here on the savannah is the vegetation on the trees. It's relatively flattened out. That's because it's about as high up as an adult giraffe can reach. They love snacking on these trees most of the day and sometimes at night. And now, my friends, on the left side, you're going to get a turn to look at this Ankole cattle. The Ankole cattle is the only domesticated animal out here on the reserve. These cone-like structures on both sides of the truck are termite mounds. Termite mounds are made of a combination of dirt, saliva, and dung. It can be as hard as concrete, and sometimes animals use them as scratching posts, but smaller antelopes will climb to the top of them just to see what's going on in the area. See if we can find any more animals just around the corner here. Sometimes I like to frequent specific areas out here on the savannah, and lately lots of Maasai giraffes like to stay around this region of the savannah. So maybe we'll see a few of those as we proceed. I do see some antelopes over to our right side. Those silver antelopes kind of off in the distance. Those are white bearded wildebeest. I'm not sure if we're going to get a closer look at what we have right now, but lots of them over there. They can move in herds of up to 1.5 million at a time. So the only other mammal that can move in larger groups than wildebeests are humans. And when you translate the word wildebeest, it literally means wild beast. Very easy translation. Yeah, we're going to have a pretty good look at them. So lots of these wildebeests over here. So we had some pretty good luck out here today on the savannah. Several animals pretty active. Always a good sign to see that. In this next area, sometimes we're lucky enough to see African elephants, but elephants are a lot like us. As the evening approaches, they get tired and they want to go to sleep. So hopefully, it's still early enough to see them. There are a couple different yards we can check though. So I am not seeing much in this elephant habitat. But as I mentioned, just across the bridge up ahead, actually there's an elephant just to our right. So a pretty good look at that African elephant too. So notice how his back is a bit dirty. They like slinging dirt up on their backs because dirt will act as a natural insect repellent, also a natural sunblock for them. So that's from a bit earlier today. Also, just one elephant in this area. That gives me a pretty good sign that was a male back there, because male elephants are often solitary. That just means...
Hello, so this ends our day at Disney's Animal Kingdom. We're off to the parking lot to find Little Richard's car.
Woo!
We
Find
had
the
a good
car.
day,
That's gonna be interesting.
and how they say goodbye on safari? Quantarina?
Quantarina? Something like that.
Something, Espanol, something like that. I don't know.
No, it's an African.
Like Esperini or something. So Esperini, Jumbo, have a great day.
Jumbo.
Thank you for watching my video, and we'll see you next week for more Disney adventures, not from Animal Kingdom.